It's been a while since I did a quick tip video, and here recently it was brought to my attention that some people were having trouble finding the acid I use in my electropolisher setup, or they did not want to put such a thing together for a single project. So I set out to find an alternative, which I'll showcase here, but before we do that, I would love it if you would pause this video and then quickly check out a new YouTuber that I've been following on Instagram for several years. His name and the channel's name is Sharon, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He is out of Israel and he makes some of the coolest customs I've ever seen. Most have fully working suspensions that are amazing to watch. He's recently begun doing tutorials on how he builds them on his channel, so go check him out and subscribe. I'll leave links in this video and in the description. So as I was saying, I need a way to remove the oxidation without destroying the base metal, or at least the chemical needs to prefer the oxidation over the metal. The solution that I found that does this really well is Lime-A-Way. This is a tile and bathroom cleaner that is used to remove calcium oxides that build up from hard water. Calcium oxide is very similar to aluminum, zinc, and magnesium oxides, and that's what made me give it a try. Now, it's not the same as the electropolisher. It will remove the oxidation, but it does no polishing. More on that later. While the Lime-A-Way works really well, it does take a significant amount of time compared to the electropolisher. This prowler base was moderately oxidized and would have taken the electropolisher less than a minute to remove it all. The Lime-A-Way, however, took about 20 minutes with me checking every 5 minutes. Here I am at the 10-minute mark and you can already see a significant difference, though not all the oxidation is removed. So I'll go ahead and put it in for another 5 minutes, and you'll notice that the bubbles will steadily increase as the part is in the solution. Unfortunately, this is probably due to the base metal being attacked. However, this is a very slow working solution, so the loss should be minimal compared to, say, something like hydrochloric acid. It won't eat pits into the metal or anything, and it's probably a lot less destructive than any abrasive method could be. So here at the 15-minute mark, you can see most of the oxidation is gone, and this is realistically where I would want to stop, but I want to show you what happens if you go too far. So I'll again leave it in for another 5 minutes where you can see even more bubbles are being made. This is a good example of a reaction that ramps up over time. 1 minute in the solution now may be equal to 10 minutes from when I first dropped the part in. So as you sneak up to removing all the oxidation from the part, be sure to start checking more and more frequently so that you don't go past the point that you've removed all the oxidation and begin removing metal. Even though I went a little too far, it's really no big deal. Here I'm trying to polish the metal by using some rubbing compound just like I do after I use my electropolisher. However, this did not give the desired effect, so I moved to using some triple-aught steel wool over the entire base. And you'll see that shined up the metal and had little to no effect on the oxidized half. Polishing the metal is a must using this product. The electropolisher removes both the oxides and polishes the metal. I then just go over it with some rubbing compound as the acid slightly dulls the metal when I remove the part. But here the solution does no polishing. It only removes the oxides. You might be wondering, hey, can I deoxidize an entire car without taking it apart? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. Just like the electropolisher, it won't harm the plastic or the paint. And just as before, you'll need to check on the part often to be sure you don't leave it in too long. After you've removed the oxides, I recommend washing the car in some soap and water and then dropping it in some water with a tablespoon of baking soda just to be sure all the acid is gone. After this, you can wash again and then allow it to dry. I did all this off camera as it's rather uninteresting to watch. Once again, there's no polishing being done here, so you'll have to go over the metal parts with some steel wool to polish them up. For the highly detailed parts like this engine, I found toothpaste to be the best option as it's more abrasive than rubbing compound, but less abrasive than a wire brush. I should note that the solution doesn't brighten or remove any metal discoloration. In fact, it tends to darken things a little bit. However, once the car is washed, you could actually plate it as is, and that would remove the metal discoloration. I won't be doing that in this video, as I plan on doing a video dedicated to restoring cars without taking them apart. However, I'll go ahead and zinc plate the prowler base so you can get an idea of what I mean. In this case, I only plated the part for 30 minutes at 100 milliamps. Normally I would do this 3 times, but here I'm just giving you an idea of how it would look and to show that the metal is much brighter than before, even though I've only done it 1 time. And hey, you also get an idea of what happens if you try to zinc plate over an oxidized base. It looks horrible. So this does work well as a cheap and easy way to deoxidize the cars without having to tear them apart. You do need to be careful and keep an eye on the progress so that you do not overdo it. This is all that I've done to this car, and this is not intended as a restoration video about it. There are lots of things that need to be done to this car. But I want to note that the chrome on the wheels was unharmed, as was the plastic and the paint. Please remember that you do need to soak the car in a baking soda solution to be sure all acids are neutralized, otherwise there could be problems down the road. Also, if you forgot to check out Sharon's channel, links below, and hey, let me know your thoughts below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.